when you're employed, you work 9 to 5. But when you're an entrepreneur,
Oh
you
my
work
God.
all the
Round the
time.
clock, man. Yeah.
Yeah. Hello and welcome back to Source OK. This is a podcast created to understand, learn, and demystify life in Africa and African lives. Today, I have a really insightful and interesting conversation with two amazing guests that are doing amazing things in their field. And I'm so privileged and honored to have them on my podcast. Uh, Please welcome Stanley and Funto. They are entrepreneurs working in the UK.
Yeah, hi, Zenov. Thank you very much for having me here. Like you mentioned, my name is Stanley. I am the co-founder of Unideals, which I co-founded with my partner Funto, and we are working on another one here called Kashfox. My background here, I'm a project manager. I've been a project manager since 2017. I've done like Agile and Waterfall. I've also ventured into marketing, and I've been doing like some kind of like small business on the side and all that. I'm a graduate of computer science from Birmingham City University, and of course I did have my HND in computer science from Yaba College of Technology in Yaba, Lagos, Nigeria. Thank you very much, Zeno. This is like a very wonderful opportunity. So I'll let my co-founder introduce himself. I think so.
Thank you so much. My name is Funto Tade. Co-founder and product lead of Unideals and Kashfox. We are Unideals. We provide exclusive discount for our audience, and also at Kashfox, we enable users to make money through microtask by simply playing game, downloading some apps, and also taking some surveys. Yeah, so that's what we do at Unideals and Cashfox. But as from my background, I started off as a developer and fell in love with product, and since then I've really been on product since around I think 2017, and yeah, leading up to that, I've actually worked in top companies in Nigeria and also in the UK, and that actually also boosted me to start my own company, which it's been a very nice journey with my co-founder, yes, Stanley. So yeah, that's just been a little bit about me, and I'll just say I'm just a product guy. So yeah, thank you.
Okay, thank you so much for being here, both. You guys have very extensive and interesting background. The topic for today is really to understand the challenges and the entrepreneurs face, especially international entrepreneurs. So, to kind of start in the more broader sense, I would like to ask you kind of what is Unideals and how did you start? How did the idea of this business come about?
Funto, thank you very much, Zenobia. Funto, I'll take this one. So uni deals here, what we'll do is that we'll partner with brands here to like give students exclusive deals and discount code, for different brands across different categories, including technology, fashion, talk about like the big brands, Nike, Puma, and the rest. So what we'll do is like we'll partner with these brands, get exclusive discount and deals now available to students on our platform. So yeah, how did like the whole idea come about, right? It's quite an interesting one, yeah, because I remember that was early 2021. Myself and my co-founder Funto, yeah, we were just in my bedroom, yeah. Then I was in uni, that was my 100 level. We were trying to assess the gym, and then we thought of it, what, let's look for discount code, look for ways to save money rather than paying the full membership fee, right? And then we'll go searching and all that. And before you know it, we came across a platform, which is Unideals. I mean, like they really inspired us, to start this whole thing, right? And we were able to get an exclusive discount code now, which was not available elsewhere other than that particular platform, which is for dedicated for students, right? We got that and then you were able to use that to unlock. I think at that day we were able to save over 25 30%, on our gym membership fee. And then we thought
Yeah.
of it, what? I mean, this is like a very huge one, right? Like there are so many students out there, yeah, who may need something similar to this, right? And then we thought of it let's look at other markets, because since we currently have like Uniday, Student Beans, and then few other ones, including Totum, right? They already like dominated the UK and the EU market, right? Why don't we like check for like other markets like the MENA region, see if they have something similar to this, and then yeah, I mean that's how like the whole journey started. So I mean that's it about Unideals and then how I started the whole journey.
Thank you. Fanta, would you like to add anything to that? Or?
Um, yeah, sure. How that's how Unideals actually came to life. But how Cashfox actually, maybe I can just speak about the Cashfox side of things. But
Mm-hmm.
how Cashfox came to life was we're just thinking that if because the whole point for Unideals is to not just to help students save money, but to be like the like to be like a financial tool for everybody, right? So, in as much as we're helping students save money, it only makes sense to help people make money, right? So that's when the whole idea came up, where we can actually come up with micro tasks and how we can incentivize people for taking market surveys and all of that. So that's how you know Cashbox came to life. So yeah, that's just a little bit about it.
Mm-hmm. And I've mentioned this previously to Funta as well, and I do really believe and think that what you guys are doing is very admirable. And it's not only because you've started a business and you're entrepreneurs, but you're also doing this in a different country. So you have to get used to all the different infrastructure differences, the laws, the practices, the code of conduct. It's definitely more this extra layer of challenge if you were doing this probably in maybe Nigeria, where you're born and raised and spent majority of your life in. So my next question is, what are kind of like the main infrastructural differences between start making a business in Nigeria and in the UK?
Yeah, Funta, I want to take that.
Okay, yeah. Firstly, yeah, the thing is that there's not really much difference, but you can still spot the difference, I would say. So, for example, when you're talking about access to I would say funding over there in Nigeria and over here in the UK is quite different because these days, we are in the UK before we actually get access to some funds. You still have to, still do the normal due diligence, and I would say that it's not much different. But the only difference I might still point out is because of you're in the UK, it still gives you that global, I would say that standpoint because every top company is in London, right? So whether I like it or not, still having telling people you're from your company is based in London can still give that kind of, I would say, that kind of brand to it. I would say that will also help in terms of the difference between here and Nigeria. And in terms of funding, like I was saying earlier, is that also in Nigeria we still have access to some funding, yes, but I would say it won't be as much accessible as it is over here in the UK as well. So I would say those are I would say those are kind of the differences, and also in terms of access to human resource as well. Over there in Nigeria, we've got people that we've got limitations. For example, you say, oh, for there's no electricity today, or the data, the internet providers are acting up. It's not as if it doesn't happen in the UK as well, but it's minimal. But also that can be kind of the differences, I would say, because of some kind of lack of infrastructure that might also help, and also helps other can slow down the growth. I won't say it will affect, yeah, but I won't say really in there because we as Nigerians, we know how to be we know how to be, how like we're resilient, right? So we still find a way to grow. So that's just one of the differences. Even with those infrastructural differences, like I said, we still try our best to make it. So that's just my little standpoint in terms of the difference between starting from Nigeria, because we still got some infrastructural differences, resistance, but over in the UK you've got minimal resistance, and you also have that access to more market over there. So yeah, that's just that from me. I don't know if Stanley wants to add
Yeah,
anything to that
to
list.
be fair, Funta, I mean like you've literally like mentioned it all right. So I don't know yet, but in terms of like tech in general, right? So resources is almost the same thing like everywhere, right? Infrastructure is almost the same thing everywhere when it comes to tech. For other businesses it might be different, but for us, I mean, like the tech stack we use now, I mean, we can literally like get someone in UK to work for us, we can get someone in Nigeria to work for us. The only limitations we mentioned, right? Like the differences, including like the network providers, and all. But if we want to like even push this a little bit into like marketing side of things, right? I know, like, I remember at some point when we were trying to like get some people to create content for us, just to push the brand, right? We were quite like picky. We can't get someone in Nigeria to like kind of like create content for us now based on the kind of environment and all of that. Now we are
Mm-hmm.
looking at, you get. So let's say now we need like to shoot a video outside, for like uni life thing and all that. So universities in Nigeria, like the setting is quite different from university setting in UK and like even the MENA region, that's UAE, Saudi Arabia, and the rest. So we are quite specific. So there's still like a little bit of difference, right? But we'll still find a way around it, right? So in an event now where we need like that kind of video, right, for content promotion, right? Instead of us going for like videos we can shoot like open space and all that, right? We'll rather like pick videos we can shoot like in-house, right? So that there's no much difference, except one will start looking at the accent. Now, can this person sound like a student in the UK, or can this person sound like a student in the MENA region? To just like relate with our audience. So yeah, I mean that's it really. That's it really.
Mm-hmm. You've mentioned quite a few very like interesting points, and I think one of my follow up question is that there's been a lot of conversation on the importance of who is developing and who's behind a lot of the platforms that we use. I think the Black diaspora is trying to now work towards creating platforms and applications that we use by ourselves. So we are the people creating it for ourselves. So do you think for uni deals it's important that you guys are creating it? Like, is that really an important factor of the product, or can it really be anybody from any background working on it?
Um, Funto, I can just start, and I know you want to like add something a lot. Yeah, I can just start, but you can finish it off, right? So yeah, it's very important. Like the people who pick to like build our products, in terms even building that for the dev side and then for like the marketing side now, it's very important. We are not like we are being picky here, but we focus on like for the business, right? Unideals, yeah, it's a business for the students, right? Who are our target users now? We are targeting the students, right? The Gen Zs and all that. So we'll feel like the best people to like actually build this thing for the Gen Zs there are the ones who can actually use this product. That's like those. I mean, in our team, yeah, I think like the oldest in our team could be like around 31 or 32. I don't think we'll have anyone like beyond that age range, to be honest. So we'll focus on the young people here, because the young people could actually like build the best product for the young people, right? Who are like our target users. Same thing for marketing as well. So Funto, please, yeah, I know you you have like a lot to say
Yeah,
regarding this.
yeah. Thank you, Stan. So just like what Stanley just said, in as much as we're looking for Unities is built for the student by the student, we the founders as well. When we're creating Unideals, when we thought of Unideals, we thought of a platform that can unite students, regardless international student. That was like the main objective, because we're international students, right? Stanley and I came into the UK. As international students, we were still trying to get things, trying to know to juggle things, juggle work, juggle uni, and a lot of things really. So it was quite difficult. So while we're building uni deals, we literally had that in the back of our minds that this is for the student by the student, and that has actually reflected in our team, because like what Stanley said as well, that we try to cherry pick the right people to suit the role that we're looking for. It might take time, but we try to do that because we're trying to build a product that every single body's soul and heart is poured into it, and that can then bring the best product, to be fair, because we don't want somebody that is coming there to just do something based on, oh, I've got the experience, or I'm just doing you a favor, than somebody that really knows that really knows, oh, I really want to build a product to help people, right? I really want to make a difference. The kind of passion the person will pour into that will be different, right? So we're trying. That's why we will try to cherry pick the right people to meet those values and meet that goal. And that's one of the things that I'll say that we've learned as international students, and we're coming from from Nigeria and everything, that we need the right people, and it's not just about the experience. It's not about the 5 years experience, the 10 years experience, 15 years experience. It works, but to build a product to at least levitate from where it is, you need passion. You just don't need skill. You need passion as well. People that are ready to pour in blood, tears, and sweat into this, and that's one of the things that has been helping us in Unit Deals, and it's been reflecting in our product, and been reflecting in our core values. So yeah.
That's beautiful, honestly.
Mhm.
Would you say that being a Black international entrepreneur has caused more challenges than if you were, say, a white British national doing the same thing?
Well, yes. I'll say that there will always be a difference, right? For example, there are some grants that I was made aware of, that I'm aware of, that a non-British can't really apply for. In as much as there are also grants that are open to everyone regardless. But I also feel that in as much, if I was brought up here, there's some kind of opportunities that would have presented itself early, and then would have got out of probably gone for. But yes, but I would also say that me being in Nigeria also helped me to get where I'm coming from, because nothing is given to us on a silver platter, right? We need to work for it. So that has always been, it's been something that has been driving, I'll say, me. Because so regardless, so I'll say that yes, there's been a barrier, or it's affected, but in as much as it's affected me personally, I would say that Nigeria as well has also helped me navigate through this, to navigate through the barriers, regardless, which maybe I might talk about in the next few minutes. But yeah, that's just my own. I'll say it has there's a difference. There's a difference, but I still like the fact that I'm Nigerian, and it's really helped me to thrive in anywhere in the world. So yeah, that's, maybe, I don't know if that answers your question
Yeah,
for me, but yeah, that's my
yeah,
answer.
yeah, Funto, thank you very much. So I was just going to like add to that. Yeah. So
Mm.
like Funto mentioned, yeah, there's a difference, but even with the difference, yeah, sometimes I feel like there are some things here that are just we can't just assess now because we are like the difference you mentioned, right? I don't want to like use the word, right? But one of the things we've been doing lately, just like build some kind of relationship, right? Because even if you cannot access certain things, there, but building some kind of relationship, network, and all of that now is actually like helping us now to like access those things, right? So like Fonton mentioned, now yes, we are Nigerians, yes. So when you tell us this is not possible, now we'll look for ways to like make those things possible. So if we go directly and then we cannot access those things here, then what? We'll look for alternative, right? So we need to like build some kind of relationship and then walk through the ladder, walk up to through the ladder and then like get work to one another. So the relationship thing here, the networking thing and all of that, now it has been helping us now bit by bit to like access some of these things, right? I mean, it cannot be as fast as like someone who was born and like raised here and all of that, but I mean we are still doing those things here. I like to say this word that it is slow and steady and then we are progressing. I mean, coming from like since like last 2 years or thereabout we started this business, right? At least now there has been like some kind of significant improvement, right? And we've been progressing, honestly, so I don't know if that makes sense, Zena.
Yeah, it does. It does. Thank you. And what would you say, kind of like one of the most important skill that you've learned so far as a business owner is?
Um, to be honest here, I feel like one important thing here which I've had to like learn the hard way is managing people. I mean everything we do here, right? is centered around people, to be honest, from recruiting, like, getting the right people, recruitment, development, marketing, even like partnerships and all of that. So everything is centered around people. So no matter how hard myself and Punto try, yeah, both of us cannot like run this business alone because it's quite complex, right? So we need people. So now, yeah, one of the things I've had to like learn, yeah, in the course of running this business is learning how to like manage people. At least like I'm trying to understand different people and all that. People come from different backgrounds, right? Like their beliefs, their work ethics and all of that. So I learned something that okay, fine. The way you deal with Mr. A yeah, is quite different from the way you deal with Mr. B, even though they are both like developers or they are both like content creators or marketers. So I try to like kind of like I spent more time trying to understand people, trying to relate to them, trying to like what actually works for them. At least I find like a common ground in terms of like relationship with like the people we work with and all that. Now, so it's something I've learned, and then it's literally like helping us grow the business because you need these people to like to be motivated to like achieve anything we want to achieve in the business, right? So it's one important skill I've actually learned here. Every other thing for me, yeah, every other thing is add on, right? Because literally you can get someone who is quite skilled in maybe like software development, front end and back end, right? Who is quite skilled in marketing, but if you're not able to like properly manage them, if you're not able to like properly manage them, trust me, you might not get the best of them, right? And then it will still feel like, oh fine, this person has this thing up, but he doesn't like it's not committed or he's not doing that and all that, but you might have not like spent that time to like learning how to manage this person and then make them like more productive, right? People have some gift, right? They are quite skilled now, but they need that management to like get things done. So it's one very important thing I've actually learned in the course of like running the business. So I don't know if Funto has something to add.
Yeah, yeah. You just really brought the word out of my mouth. I would say people management, because running a startup where for example to start with, I don't know how I would say a startup. Yeah, to start with, you might not even be paying them the amount you're even supposed to pay them at first. Also, you've been able to at least sell the dream to people, and you should be able to know how to manage people's emotions, right? Because in as much as these people are working for you, you need to know how to appreciate them. You need to know how to give gratitude. You need to know when to guide them. So people management is really, really, very key. And also one of the things I've also learned is how to be frugal. Like frugality is very, 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 very important for a startup, because in as much as we're just bootstrapping, or probably just have little investment, we need to know how to manage that, and not just to manage that, but know how to manage effectively. Because for example now, maybe you're supposed to pay for something that is you're supposed to pay for, and then you go for the smaller version and say you're being frugal. I mean, that's not frugality. Frugality is when, for example, you know how to prioritize. Okay, you know how to be lean, right? For example, you know that before you need to do something, you have to at least have a reason behind it, right? So we need to validate everything that we are spending. Every single pound we spend, we need to know what we're accounting for. We need to account for it and know what we're getting in return. Because as first we start up, we have little limited resources, and we need to know how to use that resources to make us the best results, to get the best results. So that's one of the things that I would say this has taught me, people management and also frugality.
Um, I feel like I don't know if I'm the only one who's noticed, but a lot of people nowadays want to be entrepreneurs
Mm,
and they want to be co-founders. They want to be the person that owns the
The business.
thing, that has came up with the idea, that is the boss. I
mm,
think. What are some of the realities and challenges that you faced in
Um,
your 2+ years running this startup?
mm.
Funto, do you want me to like
Please
start? Yeah,
start,
'cause
please.
it's quite funny. Yeah. I always like to say this here, Zainab. I would say idea is cheap, to be honest. I mean, like you working out and all of that now, because literally most people come up with ideas now. Where there's a problem, there's a solution, and then where there's a solution, that's like your idea. You understand now? Ideas are very cheap now, but you running that and like you carrying that idea and then like turn it into like something something meaningful, like the solution, creating the actual solution. Yeah, that's where the work is, right? So everybody wants to be like an entrepreneur. Yeah, I want to be the one. Oh, fine. That co-founder title. Yeah, is something everybody wants to like have on their profile, right? But the pains that comes with that co-founder thing. Yeah, I'm a founder of this. Yeah, it's not even a joke, to be honest, right? I mean, if I talk about my experience with Funto is that we are like, we both like, there are some nights to have to like cry, to be honest, because sometimes you find yourself, okay, fine, now you're working, working, working. I mean, sometimes I remember there was a time, yeah, which is quite funny. I stayed in the UK for like over like 6 months working on Unideals. Like I had no other job. Like I was not doing any other job other than just my side stuff I had, because I had to like dedicate more time. I found myself like having to like do recruitment. Let's say the days Funto is busy, I have to like do recruitment, hire people, manage this one, all that. You get that kind of feeling where everybody like inside the team, right? Like the team, right? If this one Mr. 8 needs something, you're the one they are calling. If they have a blocker, you're the one they are calling. You need to like know it. So you're expected to know every single thing. When it comes to marketing, what do we do? Like before, when you're working with someone, right? Let's say you are a staff in an organization, right? And then like you need something, you have a blocker, or sometimes you're blank, right? You can find there's a boss to look up to. For now, yeah, it's done on you that you are the boss they are looking up to. These guys are looking up to you to find how do we move from point A to point
Mm-hmm.
B? How do we get this result? You're the one to figure out these things. So I say like as an entrepreneur, like are you willing to like even go through that pain of like you having to be the key person to figure out things? When these guys are stuck now, they run to you. Oh, we have a blocker. How do we do it now? They're expecting you to like do it. You understand? So this thing, yeah, it's in as much as it's easy for you to like get it right now, but the pains that comes with like it's not a joke, to be honest. Funto, please, if you have more stuff to add now, yeah, just
Well, well, the thing is that to be a founder, it's not easy, and if you've not cried hot tears, I really don't think that if you have not gotten to a level where you be like, am I doing the right thing? Then nah, I don't think, because there are many nights that I'll just ask myself that what if you don't get it right? Or what if this doesn't work out? What will I do? What will happen? But the whole point is that like everyone wants to be a co-founder, but not everyone wants to work. To be fair, and it's something that I always tell people that fine, it's all right. Everybody can come up with an idea, but can you persevere? Can you the days that you've got nothing? Can it that days that you feel down and everything? But that's one of the things that still makes you a founder and or an entrepreneur. And it's okay. I tell people that, and it's even my father that even tell this to me. He will say that some people are meant to be followers, and some people are meant to be leaders. Some people are meant to be good followers, and some people are meant to be good leaders. Doesn't mean that a good follower is less of a good leader, because everybody is made to do something, right? So, so sometimes when I say people that you want to, some people are not meant to found things. Some people are meant to follow. And trust me, I've met people that follow things to the T, and they can be very, very, very how will I use the word, industrious, and they can be very innovative. They use their own initiative. So there are people like that. But when it comes to to start something, they are not good. So it doesn't mean they're less. So yeah, so that's how I'll tell people that it doesn't mean that if you're a good manager, if you're a good director or something, doesn't make you less of somebody that is a good founder as well. So yeah,
yeah,
that's just my take for people that wants to go into
yeah.
business.
Yeah, Funto, thank you very much. Yeah, Zenobia, there's one very important point I would like to mention, right? I've been saying this like the past few weeks, right? One thing I've realized that a lot of people start business for money. They start something like for money, to be honest. I always say like one thing that's really like helped myself and Funto is that we are passionate about what we are building. You know, because look at it, there are some points here, especially like when you're most startup, right? You can even run a startup for like 2 years, 3 years, even big companies, right? Like the big tech companies we know today, some of them even stayed for like close to like 5 years or even more now before they started like even making money, before they even got to like that break even point, right? So what happens, like that period when you're not making money, what happens? That's why you hear like common saying, oh, fine startup, they typically fail like within 2 years, 3 years, and all that. Those ones that fail, yeah, because they are there for the money, not really because of, oh, fine, this is something we are passionate about. Because typical example, yeah, if you're passionate about something, even when it's not working, even when you're not making that money, what are you doing? You're spending time looking for ways to make this thing work. Why? Because you went into business to like create like a certain result for a certain for a certain set of people, right? For a certain people, right? Okay. Let's say for instance, now like Unideals now, we are here because we want to like make the student life easier. So even though like we spend like 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, and then we are not even making money, it's still fine. But we are still doing different things now, looking for ways like make this thing actually work now because we want to give the student a certain result, right? So it's the passion that is I mean, for you to like even sustain a business, especially a startup, right? You need that passion. Oh, fine, this is what I really want to achieve with this thing. Not even the money, because the money may not even come. Like 2 years, 3 years, you may not even get the money. So it's the passion that will keep like driving the business.
Mm-hmm.
And you can do your research now. Go check most of these business, right? Like the ones that are thriving today because they are looking for ways to like actually give result to like their users, not because of the money. Fine, yeah. I mean, you're doing business, money will still come around. But if your passion, if your drive for the business is just focused around money, I mean, I feel like you're on the wrong path. And then this thing now, look at it now. Even 1 year is even too much. Yeah, less than like 1 year, you're out of business because in the first 1 year you don't make money. You feel like, oh, fine, yeah, I'm running into loss and all of that. Now my loss is increasing and all that. So I mean, I need to stop this, and it's not working. You're saying the business is not working instead of you saying, oh, fine, it shouldn't be my business is not working. It should be like, okay, fine, I'm actually giving these people the result they want. Even if it's just one person you're serving for that 1 year, but you're giving that person that result. Now, trust me, I mean, that fulfillment that comes from, what, I was able to like, solve a particular problem for this person, it's something that should keep you like, pushing the business. So, yeah.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for that. Honestly, it's very, very um interesting and good to hear it from your side, the entrepreneurs, because definitely I've seen it, and people definitely want to be the founder, the entrepreneurs. And I think because there's such a lifestyle that's been shown and
Mm-hmm.
created to us on social media about the independence, the luxury, the freedom, but people don't realize that it's a lot of work. I think when you're employed, you work 9 to 5, but when you're an entrepreneur,
Oh
you
my
work
God.
all the
Round the
time.
clock, man. Yeah.
Yeah.
So now, can I
Mm.
just give you a second to like share one very funny story here?
Yeah.
Our Funto knows this, right? Like, I sleep very late here. It's a normal thing for me. So sometimes I go to bed around 1. Before I go to bed around 1, my guy is here because now, yeah, I had to like push from like the tech side to like even doing mostly the marketing side. I had to like choose a path, because we need to grow the business, right? So around 1 a.m. in the morning, I'm sending stuff to the group, to the marketing group. I know in their mind, like, this guy does not sleep. And then 6 a.m. in the morning, oh my goodness. Now, sometimes before they wake up in the morning, 6 a.m. I would have sent like close to 50 messages. I'm upset. This
Wow.
thing was not done. Do you understand now? So I
Mm.
don't even have much time of sleep, right? Even in the dream, yeah, I'm thinking about the business. In my dream, I say, you understand?
Mm-hmm.
You don't have like opening hour, you don't have closing hour,
Mm.
247. Even on my birthday, to be honest, yeah, I was still working on the business, to be honest. So there's no
Mm.
day off. Except you want the way I see the business, like if you're like a founder, especially for startup, right? It's just like you have a newborn baby, yeah. Just even take your eye away from them for like a
Mm.
second, yeah, a lot of things can go wrong. A lot can go wrong, to be honest. So yeah. Yeah.
Mm. Do you ever for once kind of like think, oh, I wish I kind of just applied to a company and worked there?
Yes. To be
So,
fair, like just like what you said, I don't have to work 9 to 5. I'm sorry, I just get to work 9 to 5, and sometimes I just put in some few hours, maybe 2 hours, and I'm done. But that sometimes like I'll be like, oh my God, are we supposed to do? If I let me just quit everything and just go back to job, like let me just go back to being a back, just a low key guy in a company. But at the end of the day, it's also still the one of the things that also drive it is that solution. There are still some people out there that are having a particular problem we need to solve. So that's one of the things that still keeps me going. To be fair.
have you heard of like feedback from some of the users on the benefit that you've provided to them?
Oh yeah, yeah. In terms of testimonials, yeah, there's some times that students will be like, oh fine, that many times I don't really have much, but when I come to to the platform, I know that there'll still be a coupon code to still use, because like we said, how we came up with cash with Unideals was because we were looking for a coupon code. So I'm sure we've actually made that kind of situation for students. I'll be like, hey, look, this has really helped me. I've actually used some certain coupon code, to help, cut the cost, and saved me about like about 5 quid about this and that, and it's really really helped. So it's really really happy to be like, okay, fine. People, I'm providing a solution to niche of people, and actually finding it very very useful. So that gives me joy as well.
And kind of to round up here a little bit, is there any plans in the future to maybe expand to the African continent, maybe like specifically Nigeria? Like, do you have any employees in Nigeria? What's the process on that, I guess?
Yeah, I mean, for Unideals, yeah, definitely we plan on like expanding to Nigeria, but at the moment, like about 90% of our staff here, they are based in Nigeria, about 90%. And in terms of like
Okay.
expanding our service here, that's Unideals, coupons and everything, right, to Nigeria, yeah, it's something we'll have in mind. But at the same time, yeah, if you look at it, right, like I feel like the brands in Nigeria still has to like do better to an extent. You get what I mean? For us to like be able to like integrate them to our platform. Typical example now, if you look at the brands we currently have on our platform, right, like the big ones like Zara, Nike, and all of that. Now, these guys they already have like the platform to enable like facilitate the whole integration working with us, right? Because now, if we need to like maybe they already have like some kind of programs to enable us generate like exclusive coupon codes now which we can use on our platform and then give access to like the student, right? But for Nigeria now, except it's this same brand we currently have now that at least now Nigerians able to shop for. I know that at the moment it might be just my network, right? But a lot of Nigerian students here, most of them are not shopping directly from all these Nike, Puma, and even H&M, Zara, like websites, cost of like the shipping arrangement and all that, right? You get so
Mm,
if you are now looking to like go into Nigeria, the vendors will have there. Look at it now. Most of them rely on this Instagram vendors and all of that to get now. So that's not really going to work for us at the moment. And at the
mm,
same time, yeah, when you're building a business, you want like certain standard, right? So you're quite careful on like the kind of brands you have on your platform. You get I because your reputation of your business actually matters a lot, right? I cannot have like a brand now which I'm not entirely sure of its reputation. I am not saying this that to feel like maybe our guys in Nigeria are not doing so well. They are doing so well, but to an extent now we want like a certain standard now to be able to like work with us as a brand, right? So it's something we are looking into, but at least now we are still expecting certain like standard from these businesses in Nigeria. That's the local ones because yeah. I don't know if that makes sense. And Funto, please, if you need to like add something, please.
No, no, that's all really.
You know.
yeah.
Okay, fine. But for cash force here, let me just to emphasize now, we call it cash force, right? But the spelling of the cash is actually K. It's K, not C. So
It's Cashbox with the K.
yeah, Kash and then Fox. Force, the first animal, yeah, cash force, like join together, no space, right? So cash force at the moment is available globally, yeah. So a lot of Nigerians actually using the platform, to be honest. I mean, surveys, yeah, there are some surveys you'll be able to like have access to, complete those surveys for games, yeah, available worldwide. Now you can see like different games for you to test, even like different apps, right? You can just like I think one of the apps on our platform is like VLC media and all that, so there are so many like this quite open to like everyone, regardless of your location and all that. Yeah. So
And for the listeners listening, is there any action points or takeaways that you would like them to keep in mind and kind of like move forward? So, any advice that you have for them? Any action points?
Hmm. Well, to be fair, I would just highlight one thing, which is start small. To not always feel like, oh, there's never the right time to start. It is never the right time. Because if you have waited, probably who knows, like, oh, when we finish uni, why won't do this, why won't do that? But we started. So if anyone you're listening to this, just start, and then you will figure things out along the way, because that's really helped us. And I feel that it's something that should also resonate with people, because a lot of people are scared of the unknown. Or what if I fail? Yes, what if you fail, but what if you don't fail? So start small, don't be overwhelmed with too much challenges. Break it down to chunks, and then put them into milestones, and then you execute that way, because that way when you break it down into goals, then it becomes smaller for you when you set those goals. But when you're picking up big goals, then it may be overwhelming. So I'll just say that compartmentalize it a little bit, and then that way you can then you pick it back in chunks and then solve that way, because that way is easier for you. So don't be scared to build. Just start and you'll figure things out. So that's just my takeaway, and I don't know if Stanley wants to add anything to it
Yeah,
as well.
yeah, yeah. I'll just pick up from like a few things you said. Now, you mentioned two keywords now, which are very important. As an entrepreneur, right? You mentioned failure, and then you mentioned start. Now, so let me just pick the first one, which is starting. Yeah, like Funto mentioned, yeah, there's never a perfect time. You understand, right? And to be honest, you don't need to like everything does not have to be perfect for you to start. At least start and then like keep going and all that. Now there are so many things to learn. I mean, to be honest, yeah, in as much as we'll find it's like a roller coaster thing, right? Some days we are happy, some days we are sad, some days we are just in between, right? We don't even know how we are feeling, right? But at the end of the day, yeah, it's like a journey. Yeah, I mean, for me, like it's a journey of a lifetime for me, to be honest. Yeah, I don't know what else I'll be doing if I'm not like going through like this particular journey. So it's to be honest, it's quite fun. Do it and trust me, you will learn in the process. And then fine, like Funto, if you start and then it gets to a point you feel now. For me, I don't see I've in me personally, yeah, I don't feel like I've ever failed in life, you understand? Because for every single thing, people called failure in my life, yeah, it's something I've learned from. You understand? Failure is only when you do something, you don't get it, and then you don't learn from it. You understand? When you don't learn from something, that means you've actually failed. But when you do something and you get it wrong, and then you learn something from it, and then it's no longer failure because you pick something valuable which you will use for like your next, like big thing you're gonna do, right? Typical example for myself now, even though I'm a tech person, yeah, I've done like software engineering. Like I was at some point, I was doing software development, before I moved to like technical project management, agile, and I forgot to even mention I'm a certified Scrum Master. Before I started doing this thing, right, at some point in between, I've done like blogging. To be honest, I've done affiliate marketing. I've done quite a lot in marketing and copywriting and all of that, right? I've even done like graphic design. Some of them, yeah, especially blogging. I was not a successful blogger because at some point I just gave up at some point. I did the affiliate marketing. I did few sales, right? But I was not that successful. I failed now. But now you're bringing those experience into like universities. It's helping me a lot now. Sometimes when I'm talking to the guys now in terms of marketing, they start asking, "Oh, fine, your background. There's nothing like marketing in your background, but how come you're able to like at least like get all this idea?" It's
Mm,
because those are the things I've tried before that I've failed, right? I failed and then I learned certain things from these things, and then now, yeah, I'm able to like avoid some of those mistakes. So yeah, there's nothing like failure, to be honest. Even if you failed in this particular business, but you learned something, at least sit down and analyze, why did I fail here? I did this thing, why did I fail? Now those things, so that in the future you know how to avoid those and then know how to do better. As a project manager, one of the things that is very very important to us now, at the end of every project now, whether it was successful or it was like a failure, yeah, we do what we call like lesson learned document. What did I get wrong? What did I get right now? And then if I'm to do this thing in the future, like how would I do it differently? It is very very important. So yeah, so that's just my little advice now for people who are thinking of, what, I want to start business. It's quite fun. At the end of the day, yeah, you'll be happy and you'll be glad like you started this journey. Thank you very much, Zainab.
thank you very much. Thank you, guys. It's honestly been very insightful. And, like I've said before, your work and what you're doing is very commendable. And I do really wish and hope for all your successes in this business and in life in general.